Hello everyone, and welcome to the Penn's Corner. Today we're going to talk about fishing tackle. Ways you can store it, ways that I've tried in the past, things that work for me, things that don't work. This should really help you to decide exactly what you want to do to keep your fishing tackle organized and readily accessible for you when you're ready to catch some fish. The very first method of holding my plastics was by using a Plano box. If you look at this Plano box in particular, you can see that it has large slots that allows us to put our bags of plastics in here. This is nice because you can fit full bags in there, keep them all contained so they're not swishing around and cross-containing with each other. Now the only issue with this style is that if I have something that I want to get at the very bottom of the box, I have to take everything out, set it off to the side, get what I want, and then if I'm using this, I probably want to keep it on top, so I'm going to switch these around and then put this one on top. Well, let's say again that I want to use something at the bottom, I take it out again, put it back in. This method is good for overstock, but not really good for getting the plastics that you want right away. The next method I tried was these Bass Pro Shops binders. They hold full bags of plastics and have slots so you can fill it up as much as you want. As you can see in the past, this one was my trailer and creature bait bag. Alright, looking at the front of the bag, you can see we got a zipper here for some storage, whether if you put weights or your fishing license, for instance, any kind of things that you need in order to catch the fish. Looking at the inside of the bag, you can see that we have more storage here for weights and hooks, whatever you want to put in there. And then we get into the meat and potatoes of this bag itself is these folders. These folders you can slide your plastic bags into. You can see in this case we have a net bait pack of chunks here. Moving on, we have some more pack of chunks. It holds all kinds of tackle. Now you can cram as much as you want in here, however it will start busting at the seams, and this is one of the problems that I had with this bag. And also the other issue I have is that if I want to find something in particular, I have to really rifle through all of this stuff in order to get to where I want to be and get the bait that I want. Because when it comes to fishing, especially in tournaments, time is money. You want to get what you want, get it back in the water, and hopefully catch those fish. Alright, the very last method of storage that I'm going to show you, which is the one I'm currently using, is again with a Plano box. This Plano box is a little bit different though. We open it up, you can see that we have multiple slots here, and you can see all my plastics. Looking at the box here, you can see that all my plastics are organized in their own little area, so they won't get cross-contaminated, and they're all readily accessible at all times. Like I said before, money is time, and I need to know where my tackle is at all times. One of the downfalls of putting your plastics in here is the dividers over time, they will start to warp. Not that big of a deal, but it is a downfall of how I have my plastic set up currently. If you're like me, you have multiple different brands and colors of plastics. Now, with taking the plastics out of the bag and putting them in a hole can make it a little difficult to figure out what brand you're using or even what color it is. So to alleviate that, I drew lines on the lid which made a grid so I could label each area of what brand it is and what color it is. This helps me in the future to reorder what works for me or just to eliminate what doesn't work for me. One issue that you may run into with taking your plastics out of the bag and putting them into a Plano box is those that are coffee infused, like these Rage Tails for instance. How I overcame that is by buying the waterproof Plano boxes. So when I go to close this, we have 3 heavy latches on here. That hold that scent into that bait. When it comes to terminal tackle, there's issues when your boxes are tipped on their side and on their lid of tackle, like for instance these hooks moving to another slot. The reason why it moves around is because the lid is not tight on these dividers. And a way to fix that is by using drawer liner. This drawer liner is something you can get at Lowe's or Walmart, any convenience store, and is mainly used for keeping silverware from sliding all around. What I did was I cut it to the size of the lid, and then I put little dabs of epoxy in a couple spots, and it holds it in place. So when I close the lid and lock it in place, I can flip my tackle upside down, right side up, and everything will still be exactly where it was when we started. The last thing I do to organize my tackle is I label my boxes. So as you can see, everything is labeled. So you got shallow to deep crankbaits, spinnerbaits, so on and so forth. So everything is labeled. So again, when I pull a box out of here, like this one for instance, I know that what I'm getting is jigs. If you take your tackle boxes out of your boat to fish in a buddy's boat for a tournament, for instance, you go ahead and label the ends of them as well if your boxes sit differently in your tackle bag. This way, again, so you can identify what is what, and you can grab that box, get the lure you want, and get back to fishing. I hope the things I showed you today help you to organize your tackle in a better way. Some things that may work for me might not work for you, and vice versa. But as always, keep your lines tight, and thanks for watching.